like to explain why Russia attacked us politically, why they use cyber information warfare as well as espionage. We do have the strongest military in the world, and we do have a democracy. And we are at our most divisive during politics. Um, there are reasons for concern. We should look at the facts as well as some of Trump's most suspicious behavior. At best, he is a useful idiot. Let's look at Helsinki. He denounced our military intelligence for Putin. He publicly said he trusted him. He then said that the Democrats who got hacked and started talking about their terminals, trying to blame them somehow, and like these conspiracies he was pushing there. Then we get into the whole Mueller investigation, where he's calling it a witch hunt when they've indicted Russian nationals, when they've actually passed sanctions based off of it. And he just continues to denounce and deny and lie. And he contradicts our military. Like, we've had generals leave citing national security. We've had several CIA, FBI, DOJ generals, like everybody. And then we have the whole him pressuring Sessions to resign, just like Nixon with the Saturday Night Massacre. He then starts publicly berating Rosenstein the same way and trying to install Whitaker. Then I noticed the Russian conspiracy sites were calling him a stealth bomber and was going to fight the deep state. InfoWars was spreading the propaganda that Russia was using, and Roger Stone was most definitely a part of that. And they are corrupt, and they are treasonous, and they are doing so right now. I saw him on TV lying, saying he was threatening that man's dog for humanitarian reasons. He wanted to take better care of it or some BS. Like, the man is a monster, just like Trump. And again, the whole dossier was about him, and we know he's cheating on every wife he's ever had. That he grabs them by the pee. He uses his fame to do so. That's his own words. And again, he was bragging to Howard Stern about watching underage girls in dress at his pageants. And again, one was in Moscow. Again, just his own words. And we know he asked Russia to hack us. He did so publicly, and that again was his own word. So it's not political at all to say the man's own words. It's just a fact. And we can move on from there. That's why it gets so bad when it's political, because they don't want to hear it, and it is a national security concern, and it is dangerous. He is supporting dictators who line in his pockets. He publicly was denying or going against our CIA after Saudi Arabia murdered an American resident. He was offering Bill Browder to the Russians, like after the whole Helsinki thing. And Bill Browder would have been murdered like his lawyer Magnitsky. That's why Trump's son met him in Trump Tower. That was the whole actual, part of the reason they've given us. But the cover story was about adoption or some BS, but really it was about murdering this guy who's exposed in Russian corruption and how they're laundering money through United States corporations, or people like Trump, rather. And well, it's not necessarily that it happened before Trump, but it is that same corruption why he has been suspiciously aligned with. Like, they were operating like a floor below him at Trump Tower. The FBI was monitoring Trump Tower because there was Russians doing all kinds of money laundering through it, and those people were being prosecuted as he was running for president. Like, there was all kinds of things suppressing Comey, who they're now bashing, actually came out 10 days before the election and said they were still investigating Hillary, and didn't mention all this stuff about Trump. And it's just, they did everything they could to make these people not believe that, they did everything. Like, they let it happen. And then they just try to explain, basically just in national security reasons. They're still drinking the Kool-Aid, so they don't even hear it. And he just goes out the next day and goes, oh, they need to go back to school, just like when he ripped up the interpreter's notes. He was having private meetings with Putin, saying publicly, like, oh, yeah, because of the Russian thing, I'm not actually going to meet with them. No, he kicked everybody out of the room and then ripped up the interpreter's notes and said, don't tell them what don't tell the Department of Justice or Department of Defense what me and Putin talked about. If it was about policy, why would the people who not implement your policy know about it? It's so obvious. But people still yoke themselves to that man, and it's a shame.